it's time to get some help from a whale. So let's go to insert 3D whales from online sources, and I'm going to look for whale, and let's select, let's see what we have. I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to rotate it, and that's a humpback. So the humpback can help us with its baleen plates to filter out the data. Let's play first with some text filters. The filters would be accessible again from the filter buttons. And suppose we want to see only Gallagher, we can deselect everything and we can check only that name. And suppose now we would like from the department, we would like only the dining room, we can do the same trick, deselect and go dining room. And you have actually many text filters. You can say something that begins with, ends with, contains something, or does not contain, equals, does not equal. You can even go to the custom filter for more options. We would like to give a bonus to Jade Gallagher if she was able to sell from the dining department a piece of furniture that was at least 5,000. So let's go to the amount now, and we have the number filter. So that would be greater than or equal to, and we can type 5,000 and push OK. And it looks like yes, she was able to do that for 5 pieces of furniture. Now suppose her employer makes things more difficult for her, and another condition is that they should be between 3/16 and 31. So that's the second part of March. So let's go to the date. And we can have a date filter between, and you can see you have many options here, so you can use those. But let's go with between, and then we can use the calendar icon, the date picker over here, and we can say, so that's in 2021. So let's move on to 2021, and we can say from 16th. And then if you want, you can even copy that date if you're lazy, you know, like I am. And you can put 31 there and OK. And yeah, she succeeded again. Let's move on to March individual sheet now. And what we would like to do in this table, we'd like to use from design total row feature. The total row, you can also see the shortcut, will be added at the very end. Over here, we already have a calculation, and that's the sum function. So the amount owed is added up for all the transaction numbers. Now let's actually do the same trick for the down pay. I'm going to use the sum, and then for the amount, I'm going to use the same sum. And you see you can use the functions on the list, or you can go to more functions. And if you look in the formula bar, the name of the function is subtotal. And what is very cool about this function is that opposed to the sum function, it will actually function if you filter your table. So if I go here, for example, and we do the Gallagher filter one more time, you can see how the subtotal is able to now take only these records for Gallagher. If you simply type a sum function, it won't work. Let me show you one more thing with tables. If you go to the design, when you're done with your tables, you can go to convert to range. So what happens is you're not going to have a table anymore, but you're still going to have the total function, which is really cool. You're not going to have your filters anymore. But even if you have a range, so there's no table involved, you can always go to the data and you can always click on filter, and then you have the familiar filter buttons you can play with, and you can sort and you can filter. So you have everything that you've had in the table. You can actually use it for a range too. So I'm going to just undo to have it back to a table.